as I'm wrapping up my journey on Atlan, I figure why not we play the Bennett Summer Event, Mavwika, and Skirk's story quest, so let's talk about them. Starting off with the Bennett Summer Event. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, going in, I already knew that Bennett was from Natlan because I watched all the cutscenes back in August. However, that did not diminish my enjoyment of learning just how important of a reveal this was. But okay, before I get into all of that, let me just tell you how much fun it was just to go ahead and play in this summer event. Not only is the island permanent, so I was able to swim my way over there and get to the quest, the environment is absolutely beautiful, from the small towns to the attractions to the painted grass to even the concert areas. Every single element of this island was so beautifully crafted. I was stunned at how beautiful it was. I also really enjoyed the moment where we met up with the alpaca sheriff and we busted the whole gang of cacti throughout. That was such a fun part of the quest. And having this entire summer event be this Bennett personal growth story was so engaging. We are understanding that the bad luck that he has had throughout Mondstadt was affecting his own confidence. It went from this goofy gag to this emotional character growth, and it was effective for me. I care deeply about seeing Bennett grow, and so many of the other cast of characters that showed up during this quest also cared about Bennett as well. It really lent itself to just creating this group of people who just care about each other. And then we get to the wild stuff. So throughout this entire quest, we are reading about the Flintblade Adventure team and how they had a child. Of course, do we learn in a very emotional cutscene that this child was in fact Bennett. The Flintblades made their way into Mare Javari, or Havari, however you want to pronounce it, and in order to protect their child, the entire venturing team, not just Bennett's mom and dad, sacrificed their own memories, their own life, their own goals, and put it into Bennett to live on and escape Mare Javari. And what's even better than that cutscene was the fact that Bennett actually got to see his parents. He got to hug them for the first time. He got to hear their stories and hear them talk about how proud they were of Bennett. It was a truly emotional, wonderful moment I just was never expecting from this quest, and it provided me with so much happiness, so much joy. If I was recording my reactions, I was crying, okay? I was tearing up because it was so emotional. And the fact that this quest has us diving in to the Mare Javari for the first time, a location that has been teased since I started making Genshin videos back in 2022.
It should have been me. I should have been the one that died in the Beljavari that day. Why won't your spirit come and stop me from using your name? Why? Why?
I think our friend really did make it to the Mare Javari. And I think the tragedy he encountered there was real too.
And we get a note that confirms that Stanley was in Mare Javari. I cannot believe how wonderful this summer event has been. And we also learned that the Ashas that we have been seeing all throughout this summer event are Montoons with the souls that died here in Mare Javari. And also, we kind of learned that a majority of these Ashas are probably from the Murata clan. And just when I thought this summer event, this fun island was over, does the world quest, The Last Survivor of the Tenochtitlan, we learn that Gold created another creation. May have been her first, but it was definitely before Albedo, called the Bakunawa, that is fully capable of infinite growth and immortality. And although it was destroyed by having a tiny night kingdom explode inside its belly, it still lives on. And we got to fight just a small portion of it. It is an incredible battle. The menacing power that Bakunawa had is insane. And look, I'm going to talk about it in the Skirk quest, but we are learning so much about how powerful and how so underpowered we are in the story as a character to be dealing with these otherworldly threats. It is crazy. I loved this fight so much. We also get confirmation of some of Enjo's goals, which is to find his homeland. This is a character who has gone through many civilizations throughout history, and this was so humanizing to Enjo. This character who is always showing up in these random spots, for him to be searching for his home is so wonderful. It's seemingly like Enjo is kind of like us in a way. I don't know. He also has some strange powers, as Sitlali puts it. I think this kind of world building is what I have been wanting more and more of from Genshin, and to bring back characters, whether it be Enjo or Bennett, to give them even new life and new interesting plot points and questions that we have for them. It makes me so excited to just want to dive in and want to learn more. The fact that we have seen multiple versions of the Mare Javari throughout just this island and alone, whether it be the one that the Abyss created or the one that we looked through from this mini Night Kingdom. And I don't know, is this the real one? According to Enjo, we won't get to see the true one unless we take the power of Baku Nawa. It's so freaking exciting and fascinating. And on top of that, do we learn that the Murata clan that we have been talking about since the goddamn manga, which you could see my reactions to that back in 2022, it was actually a part of Natlan. It was one of the tribes. It was an Anemo tribe. They were windbenders, and they were exiled from Natlan, and they were also known as the Chinotzitok. So like that, the last survivor, they're talking about the last Muraden survivor. So much lore was added into just this world quest, into the summer event, that it really is making me excited for the future of Genshin Impact and where we can go next. Next, I want to talk about the Malvika story quest, and I'm just going to give myself 30 seconds to talk about this quest because I did not like this quest at all. The quest begins with Malvika teasing us that Xbalanque is returning for no interesting reason at all into the real world, and then Malvika is like, well, we got some time, so let's go ahead and set up a tournament because I was already going to do that anyways. And then we meet him after the tournament, and he's like a 100-year-old man possessing a child, and is like, I'm funny, right? And like, so no crazy lore gets dropped in this quest that can't be said in like 3 lines of dialogue in any other quest. And even the emotional payoff that we get towards the end with Malvika falls flat when you could just go watch the Sunset animated short that does that a billion times better. The only thing that was super cool and redeeming about this quest was the fight between Malvika and Xbalanque. All right, moving on. Let's talk about something I do really like, which is the Skirk story quest. Now buckle in, because if you're looking at the time code below, we'll be talking a lot, because this is a truly amazing story quest where not only do we get a deeper understanding of Skirk as a character, but a greater understanding of the world outside of Teyvat, and to be fair, a fear of how crazy powerful Sir Logi truly is. I love this quest immediately. We are thrown into a mystery about why the traveler is feeling unwell, which leads to Skirk letting us know that a powerful being is taking away the traveler's soul because of just how powerful we are. This entity is also killing a bunch of other 4 and 5-star characters that we've never met in the worlds outside of Teyvat, because he is also draining people with Stella Fortunas, which are the constellations. But before we could investigate this any further, Skirk is like, I want to train you guys because we need to prepare ourselves before we find out who this person is. And the sequence of these trainings is absolutely awesome. And I also wish that we benefited from the trainings, like maybe a reduced cooldown or faster strikes, or the ability to switch out elements at free will. But I love that in this story quest, we are improving our skills to better prepare ourselves for diving into the abyss and finding out who the hell is taking away my soul. But during the moments of rest between our trainings, are we experiencing Skirk's dreams and learning about her life? And these memories, these dreams that we're seeing from Skirk are such beautiful encapsulations of what it means to enjoy adventuring. Skirk was this child who enjoyed to see the wonders of the universe. What kind of people are out there, places and creatures that she'll meet on her journey in the stars. Unfortunately, this happiness is quickly taken away by this unknown civilization because Skirk and her people are gifted with an ability to adapt to any environment. This includes extreme heat and extreme cold, which this otherworldly civilization deems as a threat and kills all of her people. This horrific genocide leads to Sertology grooming Skirk into this fearful warrior. Not a fear against her opponents, but a fear for her own master. Sertology made Skirk this emotionless, powerful warrior so that he can one day kill her and take away all of her memories, the life that she built after being with him. It is just this messed up, twisted sense of care that it was so depressing and sad, but to hear Skirk come to terms with that and learn how to get her revenge, the reason why she is here on Teyvat. She wants to get more powerful, to take it back and to take her life back from him. It's a really wonderful quest. And look, it's not all depressing, right? There are a lot of fun moments in this quest, okay? First off, I love that Alice just randomly intervenes in this quest. Given the conversation that Alice and Skirk had, it mostly seems like Skirk visited Teyvat and Alice intervened of like, hey, make sure you're following the goddamn rules, okay? Don't tell anyone you're from outside here, right? So there are some crazy restrictions that probably the gods have set to like make sure that you don't know that there is a world outside of Teyvat. And Alice is like, just play by the rules, play it cool, because you might not be back. You might not be able to leave here if you start breaking the rules, right? So there is like an underlying threat occurring if you're going to say something that if you're from the outside world, right? We also learn from Skirk that she is not a descender because she cannot change the fate of the world. This opens up a whole door of like possibilities of like otherworldly characters who are unable to change the fate of the world. But I guess now that Skirk is with us in training to fight Sertology, maybe now she could be considered a descender? I also love that Skirk is a cryo user. Well, she's not necessarily a cryo user, it's just this is how it is perceived in Teyvat. And it makes me wonder if the Traveler is ever going to get a cryo ability, or if we're going to get something similar to Skirk's space cryo. It is also wild that at the end of this quest, we learn that we have been fighting someone who has just taken a mere tiny fraction of Sertology's power. Skirk wants to defeat Sertology. She needs to train herself as she is learning to now fight with her emotions now that she accepted a part of herself that she has once stowed away because of Sertology, which perfectly makes sense for the gameplay and why we can now upgrade her and take her on our adventures. And after playing this quest, it has really implied that the Abyss has taken over many of the stars around Teyvat. It is a rather frightening threat. Either way, thank you all so much for taking time to watch me review the summer event, the Mavuika, and the Skirk story quest. And I'm excited. Next week, we'll be talking about Paralogism and talking about the, I think it's the Act 6 of Natlan. Very excited to release those videos and hope you come on next time for more Genshin. Bye. Sick, dude. That's a really good excuse of why she uses cryo.
I learned from some Conrian ruins.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I actually, Skirk, I can't switch him at will. I have to go to a statue to switch him.
Unless the game is like going to give me that ability. Damn. Damn, she caught us off guard. What the heck? This is how she plays? Incredible. And I also do love that the coloration that they given her cryo powers are very much like, it kind of looks like it, but it really isn't. So very cool. And oh my god, her animation when she's in that form, it looks like she's swimming around. Oh my god.
Look, I've said this in the past, but cryo is my favorite element. It is the element that I would say is close to the element that I would want to have. This might just be my favorite cryo user. She is so quick at it. Yeah, look at this. Look how she swims around. Ooh, cutscene here. All right.
From the start, the attacks have been focused on me.
All the training coming into play. This is so cool. Wow. Incredible. Ooh. She got hit. Sick.
You alright? That thing was...
Nah, she's fine. Was that the piece of us? It was.
There. I got it back.
Nice. Oh, Zwinks! Get out of here, Stu! Am I even in camera? I'm like so engaged right now. This is so good.
Run, Skirk, run! Remember, leave no one alive!
Breaking free from the ties of the abyss, the ties of her past.
Heed my words, Skirk. Let fear take root in your soul.
Did you survive? Why was it only you?
Skirk, did you become a positive light in this world?
Break free! Yeah! Don't feel guilty.
This doesn't have to be the end.
Oh. You.
Life is a gift. Don't let darkness claim it.
And the song playing. She's accepted herself. Did she get her own custom spirit way? Goddamn beautiful. God damn. It's so beautiful. Oh, he's here now. Holy, she's doing damage. Hell yes, dude. Uh-oh.
Haven't had enough of my power.
So sick. Yeah. Sucker.
Well then, let's see how much more of this power you can handle.
Truly the foul. Sick. I'm probably like tiny on the frame, dude. I'm just like in my chair. Yes. So cool.